What's up? What's up, YouTube? What's up, Twitch? How y'all doing? I hope y'all having a good day. Because my day is going good. Hope y'all doing well as well. And just to go off topic from this screen right here, I will be talking about what I want to see from a show, in my opinion, that everybody don't like. Some people like, some people don't. But I like this show right here. That this show right here seems like it's gonna be. It could be better second season, but the only thing, in my opinion, that I asked for doing this show to do is it just make Master Chief a better character next season. Because this season, I like the action in the show. I like the action in the show. The action in the show was good. It wasn't bad. That wasn't my problem with the show. But my problem with the show is certain things that Master Chief did that he wouldn't do. I think, and up in the Villian word in the comic books and stuff like that, everything else like that, that we all know that Master Chief would not, in my opinion, he would not, in my opinion, trust a covenant person. And for the covenant ship, I think, in my opinion, to come from the covenant and put them to the put for the covenant ship. And that's just my opinion on it. Because like me, you, everybody know that Master Chief is a whole different character, in my opinion. Y'all can agree with me or not. But we all know that Master Chief would not be doing that, in my opinion. And kind of like in my opinion, if they make a second season of the show, like they say they do, is like of my opinion, and this is the link for anybody who want to come in. And sound like, in my opinion, I would like for there to be more action in the show, and more story driven. I think, in my opinion, it'd be good. More story driven type stories. I think, in my opinion, that'd be a good thing for me to see. There for the next, and just let Master Chief act more like Master Chief, in my opinion. Because the first season, like I seen like flashes of him come just coming into his own. If y'all know what I'm talking about, something like that, because you could tell that Master Chief was Master Chief, in my opinion. It's not like some 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 people might agree with me, some people don't. But then y'all can put down below if you agree or not. If you think Master Chief could be a better character, cause for me, shoot, I do think that Master Chief could be a better character, in my opinion. He could be a better character, in my opinion. And it sounds like, for me, in my opinion, and stuff like that, it's like I would like for me to see how this man, Master Chief, develop in season two, in my opinion, and just see how the big relationship in between, in my opinion, how can I say this? I want to see a relationship in between, um Cora. If anybody could tell me the real name of her, I think Cora. I don't know which one it was. Cora, I think. I'm not sure which one, but if anybody could tell me, if they could tell me down below what's the real name of the character. Because, like, for me, right, in my opinion, it's like, I think, in my opinion, I think it's just me. It's just me now. But it could be a way better solution, I think, for the it could be a way better solution. I think, in my opinion, for the character, I think, in my opinion, could be good or bad. But the thing I hope happen for me, in my opinion, which I think, in my opinion, could be a good thing, bad thing. Everybody could agree with it or not. But that show do need some. Um, it could be a way better thing. I think, in my opinion. But but if y'all got questions for me that on the answer anything like that during the stream, then y'all could just put y'all answers down below. What y'all want, what questions you need answer, because like for me, right, shoot, in my opinion, it's like, shoot, I do think that the big old Halo show could be a better show if they do the Halo show right in the second season. I think the second season of Halo could be better than most MCU shows, because you look at the video games, they got video games to go by, they got TV shows, they got every type of thing that you can do on it. Because they cannot mess up Halo. And that's kind of like the thing that I hope don't happen and stuff like that. It's like we all know that the Halo show could be good, because the Halo series is one of the most iconic um video game series of all times. It is, because y'all might not agree with me or not. And kind of like for me, right, in my opinion and stuff like that, it's like we all know, in my opinion, and stuff like that. We all know time for opinion, stuff like that. Is that time for me? It's like I am actually a fair person. I am not a fanboy of any one franchise or anything like that. Because when W mess up, I would say WB not messing up, it's good. But my biases do come in time for movies, because like for me, right, shoot, in my opinion, it's like time for movies, shows and stuff like that. It's like we all know time for movie shows and everything else like that. It's like we all need um a, um good good series, good dialogue, and everything else like that. Because we all know that without good dialogue or good script for a show, then we are in trouble. And that's kind of like my opinion on it. If y'all like it, y'all like it. Y'all don't, y'all don't. And that's kind of like for me, right, in my opinion, stuff like that. That's kind of my opinion based on stuff where I'll be seeing. It's like the things I'll be seeing, like for Halo, like online, video game stuff, everything like that. It's like we all know that the Halo series we saw was not the best it can do. It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad, but that's what it wasn't the best that we can do, as I saw as good Halo stuff can do. For me, in my opinion, is like I know that Halo, time for Halo stuff, everything like that. It's like we all know, time for Halo stuff. It could be much better. I think, in my opinion, it could be much better. Like you probably could agree, disagree, and stuff like that. It's like we all know that the Halo stuff could be better. That like for the first season, because like some script choices that I want to ask the person, it's like why would you make Master Chief trust somebody that come down from a ship or something like that? It's like we all know that no general or soldier would trust nobody that quickly. I think, in my opinion, it was some kind of time skip. If they could explain that, it, and, and that's what I take that answer. I might not agree with it, but I take the answer. I might not agree with anything they said, but sure, I take the answer. Long as the answer, long as the answer could explain the reason why it done that and stuff like that, that'll be good. And that's not my problem. And that's what I'll be able to accept certain stuff. And that's kind of like me, in my opinion. If they will like the opinion that I have, okay. If y'all agree with it, y'all could. If y'all don't, y'all can put y'all comments down just to see the reason why y'all think that I'm wrong and stuff like that. Because that's what, if I'm wrong, okay, I'm glad to tell me I'm wrong. And that's just me. That's just me. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'm right, I'm right. And that's just me, in my opinion. And that's kind of like my opinion on it. If if y'all agree with my opinion, y'all could. If y'all don't, y'all don't. But the thing about my opinions and stuff like that, like on time for the Halo show, I think the Halo show is not the worst show. But the thing about it, for me, in my opinion, I would make it like a I would make it like how could I say this? How could I say it would be the best for me? It would have been like a 3 out of 5 stars for the show, the first season. 3 out of 5 stars because the show wasn't the worst I've seen so far. It wasn't the worst I've seen. It wasn't the worst show I've seen and stuff like that. But the show was decent. It had some good action. It had good suspense on certain parts, everything like that. It put the CGI set pieces, everything looked good, everything like that. It wasn't the worst, and that's kind of like my opinion on it. And that's kind of like my opinion, what I don't like, and stuff like that. But if y'all agree with me, y'all do. If y'all don't, y'all don't. And kind of like the stuff that I would like to see in the future for Halo is it sound like the blue and red show, everything like that. If y'all seen Halo, the Halo animated series, something like that. They had the blue and white show or something, blue versus red. I would like to see just how the people that on the Federation, I think they call the Federation. I think it's on that the Halo people that on the people that Bill Master Chief worked for. I would love to see how they handle problems just while Master Chief wasn't there, and that's kind of like my opinion on it. And kind of like for me, in my opinion on it, but I would like to see if Master Chief wasn't there or Silver Team wasn't there, how was they fighting the Covenant? How was it? How bad was they losing? How bad was they losing and stuff like that? Because think about for me, just for the people, in my opinion, to do that much experimenting with other people, to do experimenting with them type of people and stuff like that, and make the Spartan program, that had been bad. That had been bad in my opinion. Be, because think about it, for them to use kids like that, like the Master Chief and the Civil Team, everything like that, make them grow up, everything like that, and just be erasing their memories. to some point to be like that. Oh man, they had to be losing bad, or the aliens or some kind of aliens must have came down just by surprise or something. Should that just me? And that just me in my opinion. And that just me in my opinion is what I think about it. That and this that was my off topic that I wanted to talk about right there was the Halo show. It sounds like that just the end of it all. I think in my opinion, just the end of it all, that they need to in my opinion, they need to in my opinion make sure the second season script is good and story is better. Because think about it, the first season I let it slide and just the origins, they laying down the foundation stuff like that. I'm cool with that. But their second season need to be better. Need to be better and need to be good. Need to be better than the first season. I think in my opinion, it could be better, but that's just me. This is the end of this first one right here. And kind of like the other thing, shoot. And kind of the other thing I want to talk about, in my opinion, could be good or bad, but everybody different. Everybody different time for this stuff. Everybody is different. If y'all like it, y'all like it. Y'all don't, y'all don't. And that's kind of like in my opinion on this on the whole thing. And it's something like for most people, some people might not like me. Some people will. But the thing about it, I do think the DC future is a little bit brighter than Marvel future. In my opinion, I do think it is. But um, some people think I'm wrong. Some people think I'm right. But shucks, I do think that the Marvel future could be good. But the thing about for me, what I'm worrying about dealing with Marvel is like the new character stories, and just make sure no type of agenda is up in the stories, and just make sure, in my opinion, just make sure the stories is good, stories, no agendas, anything like in the story. That just me, and that just me. That just me in my opinion, because we cannot put agendas in stories off of comic book characters that got history or no history. We got to make we just gotta make good movies just with good stories, and that just me. That just me in my opinion. If we got to be able to make better decisions on who write these stories and who don't. Because that's what, if we can't do that, then we gotta be in trouble. And that just me in my opinion on it. Y'all might agree with it, y'all might not. But that's what we all know, that time for stories, everything else like that. Like I'm time for stories, movies, and everything else that we do. Ooh, if they can't make it, if one of the Marvel stories, I think in my opinion, even be off for a little bit, it's gonna be a problem. It's gonna be a problem. I think in my opinion, and kind of the reason why I say it's gonna be a problem, because that we all know, like time for movies, shows, and stuff like that. Time for movies, shows, stuff like that. What I seen there with Marvel, some of them, some of these shows from Marvel is not, it's not getting me excited. The She-Hulk stuff looked good, but the thing about it, I worry about the script and stuff like that. That's all I worry about. I worry about the script. I make sure the script good, and that's how I'm worrying about. I am worrying about the script. I'm worrying about the action. I'm worrying about if the dialogue is just going to It's some kind of dialogue just gonna mess around and just in my opinion, it just gonna mess around and contradict the whole MCU sound like WandaVision did. Because you look at WandaVision and what that show did, it just disrespect Ultron. Because the show just in my opinion, let me say it like that. The Ultron movie for WandaVision say she was experimenting on y'all, but they changed it to how can I say this? They changed it to everything else. They went for experimenting to saying that she was born with it, and that's kind of like the bad thing for me and stuff like that. What I don't, and that's kind of like for me and stuff like that. And that's kind of the bad thing. And that's kind of the bad thing just by getting writers that don't look at the story and stuff like that, make sure it correlates because you have to make sure that stuff correlates up in the like I said, make sure just make sure the story correlates with the on the movies because they release the movies correlates with the show that make everything go smoothly and stuff like that. And that's just my opinion on it. But y'all can agree or disagree with that and stuff like that. That's what I think. And kind of like the thing for me that I would like to share with y'all on the screen because think about it, I am live streaming and stuff like that. And kind of like for me, in my opinion, stuff like that. Kind of like my opinion, stuff like that. So like some people might like it, some people might not. And that's kind of like the thing that I don't want to, like in my opinion, just and that's kind of like my opinions and stuff like that. And that's kind of like my opinion on it and stuff like that. And kind of like my opinion on that, which I think in my opinion. And and that's kind of like my opinion on it. But if y'all like it, y'all like it. Y'all don't, y'all don't. But the kind of thing shoot I do like that shoot I do like seeing right now is something like for me, in my opinions, stuff like that, it's like something might like it, something might not. But everybody is different. Everybody's different. No time for stuff like that. And kind of like for me, right, to, what I'm seeing, like on time for movies and show. Then I see like for shows, movies, and everything else like that. What I'm seeing, like, oh shoot, I think the MCU future could be good, but the thing is, I kind of doubt it, and stuff like that. In my opinion, I kind of doubt it. In my opinion, like on time for future, the MCU. That's all that. Because think about it. Shoot, I about to share stream. Wait a minute, YouTube. Wait a minute. I got a stream or something. And what's on YouTube? That screen up technical issues and stuff like that. And kind of like in my opinion, and stuff like that, based on MCU or something like that, it could be good, but it seems like they're doing stuff based on agenda instead of setting on story. So like No Way Home was good, Doctor Strange was good, and Falcon and Winter Soldier. Those don't. And Shane, it was good, but it wasn't excellent. Like what some people was expecting and stuff like that, because think about it, was expecting excellent hand to hand. They were expecting him to go through trial tribulation. Seemed like, and he went through some of it, but it seemed like he ain't went through it all the way. I think, in my opinion, and that's just me. And that just me, in my opinion, is what it feel like. In my opinion, some people might like it, some people don't. And kind of like the things I'm hoping might happen, which I think, in my opinion, could be a good or a bad thing. Yes, like I think, in my opinion, it could be a good thing, in my opinion, if they actually do something. There was thing I do like, what it might do, which I think, in my opinion, could be a good, bad, everything in between. It's like I think, in my opinion, it could be a real good thing if they can actually, in my opinion, uh, just achieve certain stuff. Because like the MCU, that MCU, I think, in my opinion, they bring the X-Men. Because like the other characters is cool, but they do need that big team just to splash on screen just for the general public to know. Which I think, in my opinion, will be a good thing, will be a good smart thing to do. But we all know that the MCU, in my opinion, don't go by the comics. They go by certain stuff, but they don't go by the comics, in my opinion. We might not like it, but they don't go by the comics because that's why they went by the comics that they wouldn't know. In my opinion, that they didn't. And let's look at Marvel Phase 5, which I think supposed to be happening. I think, in my opinion, um, some of Phase 5 stuff that I want that I might be excited for is Secret Invasions. Um, let me name everything in Phase 5 first, just for y'all to get the point. All the shows and movies. They got Ant-Man Quantumania, Echo, Blade, Daredevil, Secret Invasions, um, Loki season 2, Ironheart series, Captain America, the whole a new order, new world order. Um, let me see what else. Let me see what else they got. They got the Marvels, they got Agatha, they got the Thunderbolts. Okay. All of these shows, what am I excited to see? I am excited to see Blade. I might be excited to see Echo, but I'm kind of like in and out with that one. Um, I'm excited for Loki season 2 because season 1 I like that one. Um, the Marvels kind of I'm kind of iffy on that. I'm kind of iffy on the Marvels. I'm kind of iffy on that. And that's kind of for me. I'm not because like Captain Marvel movie was bad, and that kind of down my hype for the Marvels. Agatha, I'm not sure about her because she should have a show right now until we see what her stuff gonna be. Okay, and the Thunderbolts. The Thunderbolts, I'm kind of hyped for that one. I'm kind of hyped for the Thunderbolts because that show could be good, could be bad, and that's kind of like for me. kind of like for me, in my opinion, could be a good thing that just for Thunderbolt show to be coming last. Because think about it, if Agnes is actually a bad series, then Thunderbolts probably come in and save it. If the series is bad, in my opinion. That's just me. That's just me now. Because the thing about it, and I'm not saying right now that the series could be bad. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying the series could be bad, but that's what I am saying. If the Agnes series actually are bad, then it's just the big old Thunderbolts could come in and save them, in my opinion. Y'all might not like me for saying it, but that's how it is. And that's kind of like my opinion and stuff like that. That if y'all like my opinion on that, y'all can put it down below. If you agree with it, don't agree with it, it's just up to you at the end of the day if you agree with it or not. Because like for me, in my opinion, that for you to agree with it or not, but shoot, I think for me, in my opinion, is that this phase 5 could be good to average. If the highest could be is good to excellent, depending on the stories and stuff like that, and just like in my opinion, depending on which story they want, what's the characters doing in movies and shows they could be introducing or coming out with. And kind of like the one problem I have with Phase 4 that I didn't like, it sounded like they made Miss Marvel a mutant. That's kind of like the one thing that I didn't like. Because think about for me, if y'all know anything about Miss Marvel, it is that everybody know that Miss Marvel is not that we all know that Bill Miss Marvel is an Inhuman. He's not a mutant. The mutants is different than Inhumans. They probably made her a mutant just for the MCU, but the thing about it, once a regular person that like the character go back, try to read and stuff like that, and they find out that she is not actually a mutant, she's an Inhuman, then that person might get mad. That person might rant on the internet and stuff like that. Unless the person go on the internet and do research for themselves, I think, in my opinion, that what some people don't do, and that's kind of like the bad thing for me, in my opinion. That's just I feel like that some people don't do, in my opinion. It's like some in my opinion, just don't do research. They look at the shows and stuff like that, and they just expect the show to tell it all. That's what the show is a good barometer to tell you what the character could do, and stuff like that. It's a good barometer for that. But the show don't tell you but the character just don't tell you all that that but the show don't tell you what the character is all the way, what the history is all the way. That the show that tell you certain stuff, the main points of the characters, but it don't tell the whole thing unless you do research on it and stuff like that. But that's just me. And that just me, in my opinion. That's what I would like to see. And stuff like that. Like like a time for movies and shows I would like to see. I would like to see, in my opinion. And kind of like in my opinion, what I would like to see is like I would like to see, in my opinion. I would like to see, in my opinion, what the new characters do for Phase 4. Cause like Ironheart, I didn't like her early runs of her comics. I didn't like it. Her early runs of comics, I did not like it because they might she was not a good character at all. She was not a good character at all. Y'all can like me or disagree and stuff around that, but we all know that Ironheart was not a good character at first. For for me, in my opinion, Ironheart wasn't a good character for me in the comic books, and she wasn't my favorite to actually look at up in the comic books. I'm black myself. Just in case anybody asking, I am black, and that's what, my opinion, I did not, in my opinion, just want to see Ironheart yet, just until I see Tony come back and just pass it on, sound like a mantle or something like that, and that would have been a good thing for me. I think, in my opinion, it would have been a good thing to see if he would have passed it on or just have her as one of them helpers, things, sound like Pepper Potts, and that would have been a good thing for me to see, just for Ironheart to go from a help for helping Tony, just for getting that comic book thing. I think that just for being Ironheart, I think, and for her going her own way, and that would have been good to see, in my opinion. It sounds like some people might agree, something like that, but everybody different. Time for shows, and that just me, in my opinion. That's how I feel like. But if y'all got any comments on just on the MCU stuff, well, I think I said we disagree with, then y'all can put it up in the comment section and anything like that, or just in the chat if you agree or disagree and what you're excited for and what you're not excited for. Because the thing about, for me, in my opinion, is like the MCU future is actually good. In my opinion, it is a good future in MCU, but that's why, in my opinion, there's no the MCU. Sometimes the MCU mess up. Sometimes just by outside stuff they do. Because you look at some of the gender stuff that happening behind the scenes, some like She-Hulk stuff, everything like that, and that's kind of like the thing shoot that shuts I don't want to see. It sound like that MCU stuff. Sound like the director singer, and kind of like, for me, in my opinion, about that, it's like, it's sound for me. I don't like seeing directors arguing with fans. I think, in my opinion, if it's not for a good reason, anything like that, is if a bill director can't take criticism, in my opinion, then he should not be doing movies and stuff like that, because that we all know, like, I'm dealing with movies and anything else like that. It's like you gotta take criticism to a point, and that's kind of like my opinion on it. If y'all like it, don't like it, that just my point. That just my point and stuff like that. Where I feel like the MCU, some of the directors is kind of sensitive, because you look at stuff over women and something like that, and that's kind of like my opinion. Where I feel like certain directors is too sensitive. That's kind of like a bad thing. They could be good and bad, but things, in my opinion, it sounds like learn how to pick your battle sometimes, and that just me. Because think about, for me, if you can't pick your battles carefully, then you will be in trouble. I think most of the time, and that's what I've seen sometimes. If you can't, in my opinion, pick your battles carefully, what I think, in my opinion, could be good or bad. But the thing about, for me, in my opinion, is like, I do think that some of the fans, in my opinion, could go too far. They could, But the thing about for me, well, I feel like the fans might go too far, but you can't not be, in my opinion, then the fans might go too far, but we cannot be fighting half the time. Then we cannot be doing all this junk. I think opinion. They cannot be doing also. Uh, and that's kind of like the good and the bad with it. Is it sounds like communicative fans could be good, but the thing about for me, what I learned, it sounds like some fans, some fans in my opinion take it too far. They do, like in my opinion, take things too far. Some of them, some will do it for the MCU. Yeah, and plus, like for me, I don't want to be seeing no fans not go touchdown, and that's kind of like the bad thing for me. Something like that. Um, Kind of like the bad thing for me. What I'm seeing, like on time for MCU fans, what they do sometimes, they do go too far with it, and sound like for me sometimes, some MCU fans disagree with me sometimes. They disagree with me sometimes, saying that I'm just a DCEU people, DCU fans. Sound like the channels I've been on sometimes. They do say sometimes that I am just a DCEU fanboy, stuff like that. But the thing about me, I am not a DCEU fanboy. I'm just a fan of the DCU universe with the Zack Snyder story or not. And that's kind of like for me, in my opinion. They might not like me saying that, but we all know that the Zack Snyder DCU thing movie was better than the other one. But we all know why it's better because the thing about the Zack Snyder story will tie into that, and plus like the 4 hours Zack Snyder cut was actually good in my opinion. Because if you look at it, that could have been a two-part movie, and they could have made 2 parts of that movie. And that movie right there could have been good. I think, in my opinion, that 2 part Justin Lee movie that Zack Snyder made, and they would make it 2 parts. That would have been a good thing. And that's kind of like my opinion on it. If y'all got a question to ask me anything down below about the MCU Phase 5, if y'all got it, if y'all just not coming in, then press the like button. And kind of like for me, in my opinion, stuff like that, what I think about the MCU, DCU, and stuff like that. That shoot, I do think it's actually good. And kind of like the Phase 5, the Ant Man, that Ant Man Quantumania movie could be better. It could be a good thing. I think, in my opinion, that Ant Man Quantumania movie. I think, in my opinion, it could be a good thing. Could be good. Could be bad. Everybody different on that. But think about for me, and kind of like the stuff that I want to see, time for the Quantumania movie. It sounds like, in my opinion, the Quantumania movie that I would like to see in the future. Dealing with Ant Man is like the Ant Man stories to be serious and keep it serious. I think, in my opinion, but everybody different on that though. Everybody's different. And kind of like the stuff shoot that I want to see deal with the MCU stories. I think, in my opinion, dealing with the MCU stories, I would like to see. I would like to see more seriousness dealing with the jokey characters, sound like Ant Man and everybody else like that. And kind of like my last thoughts on this one. kind of like my highest thoughts, not my highest, but my final thoughts on this MCU thing. I think the future is average to good. And it can be good to estimate depending on the stories I see through the movies. It could change, like show to show, series to series, depending on the show, series, and casting. Just me. It could be a good thing or a bad thing, but it just depends, though. And like my final and kind of like the final thing I want to say is like I just hope the MCU just don't mess this phase up. Make sure stories and dialogue is actually good in it. And that's just me. And that's my final thoughts on that right there on the MCU. That's me. And kind of, and I see you on the and kind of like the final thing that I want to talk about is the DCEU Warner Brothers investor thing. Talking about the DCEU plan, 10-year plan. Warner Brothers announced a 10-year plan. Up in my opinion, they do need a plan. But I think, in my opinion, they do need one. And let's just read the article together. I'm sharing it. Warner Brothers announced a 10-year DC plan will mirror the Marvel. Okay, this is my thoughts on this. Marrying Marvel is not my problem, but we can't do looks like it because our characters not joking characters. If they can do like plans, I'm good with that. I'm good with that. If we talk about plans like that, everything else like that. You talk about plans, like the MCU plan, that I'm good with that. You're talking on the MCU plan. Because like the MCU amount is actually successful. And let's just read. It said Warner Brothers have been trying which I think, in my opinion, could be good, bad, and everything else like that, which I think, in my opinion, could be a good thing. Because think about me, if you tried to join the DCEU plan, wait a minute. Let me go back. Where did it click on? Because it said Warner Brothers have been trying to get the DC off the ground, and they kind of did. I think, in my opinion, which I think, in my opinion, could be good, bad, and everything else like that. Which I think, in my opinion, could be a good thing. That and that's trying to off the ground for over a decade now. Disney found great success with the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The ground started with Man of Steel. The Zack Snyder departed 2017 Justice League, bid farewell to his Lord of the Rings aspire for after the DC saga, which I think DCU had just that overreacted because that's what they wasn't making the money. And that's kind of the thing for me. What I think DC need to wait because the thing about you look at it, that on the MCU didn't start off making money like that. Because you look at it and stuff like that, like on time for the MCU, everything like that, they were making money like that at first. Because you look at the MCU, the other universe that actually worked in the past, they never start off with $1 billion movies. They started off with movies that make money here and there and stuff like that. And my opinion on it, because we got to make they had to learn how to build from the ground up. Certain ones, you look at the X-Men movies. Shoot, the X-Men movie wasn't bad. The X-Men movies made money, but that's what they started from the ground up, and their movies did not make money like that. Their movies didn't make a lot of money at first. They waited to the second, third movie when the fans actually did good. And stuff like that. If you look at, because you look at the stuff that the fans did stuff like that, it was actually good. Because think about it, if the story good and the audience like it, the audience will come out and look at the next movie, the next movie, the next movie there. And that just for me is what I learned and stuff like that. Like because think about me, if that that's the business 101, because you will not make a lot of money at first. You because you gotta make a little bit of money at first. You gotta make a little money at first. You just gotta make sure that brand builds up and stuff like that. And you got to learn from patience. And it seems like the DCEU did not have patience. And that's kind of like my opinion. So that's what I think. The DCEU did not have patience and then was reactionary to certain stuff. Because they canceled the Batgirl movie, which I think was not a good movie. Because the thing about me, I hope the Batgirl movie come on streaming and they want to change some stuff. And that's kind of like that I want to see. That like for the Batgirl movie, if they had to change the ending or change some parts to it, then that's what I'm good with that. If you want to change some parts to the movie, I'm cool. I'm cool and I'm good with it. But the thing about for me, what I'm not cool with, I am not cool with people just changing a story. I'm not cool with them just changing story just to do it, which I think, in my opinion, is not actually a good thing to do. Because think about it, it's just it actually should be a good thing. What I think, in my opinion, should be good, bad, everything in between. A bad thing, it's something like that, which I think could be good or bad. But the thing that I would like to see, in my opinion, the thing that I would like to see DCU do is make a Superman movie with Henry Cavill. They're what they need, I think, in my opinion. They do. And it sounds like, for me, in my opinion, if they can make a good Superman movie with Henry Cavill, then that would change people's minds. And that's kind of the thing for me. They could change their mind based on a good movie. If the movies is bad, then the people won't change their minds, I think, in my opinion. And that's kind of like, for me, in my opinion, is what I think. And say Warner Bros. Now merger complete. Many eager to see the new management handle. Some worried sands after cancellation of Batgirl. New comments have revealed bigger plans for the future. They better be good too. Because you cancel Batgirl, you cancel a movie that already in my opinion, up in production. Because you better have that actress up in another project or something like that. Because you don't, that's just a waste of talent, which I think, in my opinion. because you cancel her movie. If you cancel her movie, then shoot that better mean that Ben Affleck is getting his Batman movie. That is the only way, in my opinion, just to rectify the situation. I think, in my opinion, that's the only way to do it. Because you can't say that you cancel a background movie and you don't have a plan just for background just to be up at another movie. That just don't make no sense. I think, in my opinion. Shoot, that just me. Shoot, that just me, in my opinion, what I think. Some people might agree with it. Some people might not. But the thing about it, for me, in my opinion, is if they think it's actually a good idea to do it, to cancel it and stuff like that, then they're okay. But the thing about me, in my opinion, what I wouldn't do is cancel something like that. I probably wouldn't cancel it. I probably change some parts of the movies and stuff like that to y'all liking if they wanted to do that. And that's just me. And that's kind of like me, in my opinion, on that. But everybody different. Everybody different on that part. Everybody different. Some people like it, some people don't. And kind of like the DCU make the MCU aspire future plans. During the Warner Brothers earning quarter 2 calls, CEO then revealed that DC top list plan moving for attempt to marry the Marvel Universe, which is kind of smart it's kind of smart in a way. But the top hero said to be the big opportunity for the company. That's what. Opposite gets opportunity, just make the movie. Just start screaming. Man, shoot, man. Let's get a script out. Let's get a script. Just get Henry Cavill his movies and stuff like that. Get him a contract. Quit waiting. Get Henry Cavill his money. Give him his money. Warner Brothers, you do not. Warner Brothers got no leverage in that situation. Henry Cavill just got all the leverage. He's the Superman. He's the Witcher. He costs him more money by the day. If you keep on waiting, you won't be able to afford him. No. You're gonna be able to afford him, but shoot, you gotta have to make that thing last throughout two, 3 or 4 movies, something like that. In my opinion, but everybody got crazy on that though. It's that we have to look at broadly DC, but that's what we already got a Wonder Woman movie out, Wonder Woman 1 and 2. They need to get Ben Affleck his movie and get Henry Cavill his movie. Warner Brothers, I hate to say it, you got to start filming next year. They got to. I hate to tell them this, but they got to start streaming next year. Like it or not. They can like it or not for me saying that, but it's true. There's truth for some, but truth for not others. And that's just me, in my opinion. And kind of like for me, in my opinion, based on movie shows, everything I like to see. For the DC to do better, yes, I love for them to do better. Stuff like that. I love for them to do better, but that's just me. Some people don't. Some people hope it fail and burn, but for me, no. Because they said the other statement that the man says also, we think we can build a much stronger sustainable growth business out of DC. That's what people. Man, we got Green Lantern. They need Green Lantern, things like that. But that's just me. But the summary of this article that y'all reading right now, that I'm seeing right now, is sound like they want to do like Kevin Feige and stuff like that. But then I mean, Kevin Feige just the excellent job on Marvel. But the thing is like we want Kevin Feige light, but thing, my opinion, sound like don't do everything. Sound like Kevin Feige. do do stuff different, like your own, that can bring your own flavor to it. That just me. Y'all can like it, not up to y'all. It is up to y'all to a point, which I think in my opinion could be. But everybody different on that though. If y'all agree with me, if you don't agree with me on the DCU stuff, then y'all can put it in the chat or put it in the comment section after this live stream over. Um, just something like that. Because think about me, like shoot, so I do think the DCU future is brighter. The Marvel future is bright, but I do think the DCEU future is brighter in my opinion. If y'all agree, disagree, y'all can put it down below. And for my final thoughts on this is like I do think that my final thoughts on this is like I do think if they get a Superman movie out, the Superman movie good. We get Superman, Batman, and for the third one, the movie good, then that'd be good. And just like and up in those three movies, they can like introduce DC characters in each other. Like in Superman, introduce Supergirl and Green Martian Manhunter. Batman, introduce something like a Green Arrow, like on TV or something like that, or just have Nightwing with him. In my opinion, that'd be a good thing. And like from Wonder Woman, and introduce Wonder Girl and Donna Troy and her movies and stuff like that. In my opinion, that'd be a good thing. And just have the Teen Titan stuff be coming out in the future. I think after those three come out, and that'd be my opinion on that. And kind of like for me, I'll leave y'all with this. Shoot, I would give David on Slassoff and there's Slassoff doing this art, doing the investigator. I would give him 5 stars, 4.5 stars, 4.5 to 5 stars. I think in my opinion, just how he handled on the calls and stuff like that and the questions, he actually answered good. I think in my opinion. YouTube, Twitter, no YouTube, Twitch. I'll see y'all later and see y'all next week.